Go with me now as we direct our thoughts to the teachings of the goddess of purity, taken from the dictations recorded as volume 24, number 32, and volume 54, number 13, printed in the Pearls of Wisdom. And then to listen to her dictation given January 14, 1979, called The New Order of the Ascension, playing, recorded in volume 54, number 14. We gather then in the light of divine opportunity. Opportunity that comes through liberty, mercy, and love. But just not liberty as the world knows it. We speak today of spiritual liberty, the kind that gives the soul the power to rise above human density, to cast off impurity, and to embrace the fiery path of purity, the path that leads directly to God. Let us begin with our beloved goddess's opening prayer. O liberty of my life, I adore thee, for thou hast given unto me the freedom to pursue the path of purity. This is just not this is just not poetry. It is the soul's cry of gratitude to divine justice, to freedom to choose God, to choose love, to choose the ascension. Today we explore what it means to walk the path of purity and to awaken to our true identity as chelas, students of the light, disciples of the One. First, we understand that purity is love in action. She says, "Blessed hearts, there is no purity without love." This reminds us that purity is not cold, not sterile or ascetic. No, purity is the warmth of God's love. It is the fire of the heart that burns away all illusion, all shadow, all condemnation. People often lament pollution in the environment, disease in the body, chaos in the world. But the goddess of purity tells us plainly, all pollution begins in the human spirit. It is the misuse of free will, our God-given liberty, that has darkened the air and clouded the soul. Therefore, a revolution is needed. Not a political revolution, but a revolution of cosmic purity. A revolution that begins with us in the temple of the heart. Second, we need the purging fire of self-examination. So many today are obsessed with what they see outside of themselves, the faults of others, the errors of society, the divisions in our spiritual communities. But purity begins not in watching others. It begins in cleansing of our own eyes. What we discern on the outside comes from our ability to see on the inside. Someone has said, if you take a look at the condition of your bedroom, it has a tendency to indicate somewhat what you will recognize outside of yourself. If your bedroom is cluttered, it would indicate your tendency to accept what you see as you look out upon the world. The word comes to us. Far better for the soul to go within and discover God's own immaculate concept in the Immaculate Heart of the Cosmic Virgin for oneself. Far better for the soul to go within and discover God's own immaculate concept in the Immaculate Heart of the Cosmic Virgin for one's self. In other words, stop the gaze outward and turn inward. Stop the analysis and the criticisms of others and go within to rediscover the blueprint of your own divine destiny. It is time to take responsibility for the atmosphere around us. Do we carry the vibration of love, of peace? Or do we contribute to the astral smog with negativity and judgment? The Karmic Board desires to release divine direction into your life, but it must find a pure chalice in your heart. A lean, organized unconscious into which to file the truths of God, into which to file the reality of life. Only then can we recognize such reality outside of ourselves. Third, the Goddess of Purity invites us into what she calls the lullaby of the soul. Imagine being rocked in the cradle of God's heart, wrapped in the crystal white fire snow, surrounded by angels of light. She said, if you could see the holy angel of the brother or sister nearest you, you would be ashamed to even think a thought of impurity about one another. If you could see the holy angel of the brother or sister nearest you, you would be ashamed to even think a thought of impurity about one another. There is a story of an old monastery where the monks just couldn't get along. They were constantly critical of one another. It became so bad that they decided to call a bishop from another area to come and see if he could help. After interviewing each one of the monks, he said that, yes, he discovered what could be the answer from the Holy Spirit for them. He said he was shown that one of them was indeed the Christ incarnated in their midst. But he was prohibited from informing them which one it was. They must discover that for themselves. Now the atmosphere changed. Each one wondered if he might be the one. And if not, could it be Brother John or somebody else? The bishop left without sharing the secret that each one was indeed the one. The result was all criticism stopped, harmony became the norm, and joy and peace ruled the monastery. What would happen if in our families, in our communities, even in our churches, if we saw each other as the angels see us, as manifestations of souls in the state of becoming, evolving, climbing, striving toward the light? We have been led for centuries to move through one incarnation after another to manifest our true reason for being. This is the new vision of purity, not a code of do's and don'ts, but a way of seeing. A seeing so pure, it calls forth the best in others and in ourselves. Not criticism, but holding the immaculate concept for all others. A move from outer recognition to inner awareness, to an eternal call that is so important to recognize. Fourth, now comes the blessing, the falling of white fire snow from the etheric plane, a baptism of light, cleansing not just the body, but the memory, the soul, and the astral shell. With the power of this light, the goddess of purity calls forth the clearing of the chakras, the power centers of the person of God, the opening of the soul's eye to perceive heavenly vibrations of angels and masters, opening the realities of the world of spiritual experience. The alignment of the chakras from the base chakra to the crown chakra to provide for the raising of the spiritual energies from the base to the crown. This is not poetry alone. It is the preparation for the ascension. The time is now. Many have tarried for centuries, weighed the cost of discipleship, wondering whether to answer the call of the Great White Brotherhood, even though they do hear them at times. For me personally, it happened like this. 76 years ago, as we arrived home from church one sunny summer afternoon, we had pulled into our farm home, and my father stopped the car in front of the barn, and we just sat and talked. During our discussion, my mother turned to me and asked, "Carl, have you ever thought of being a minister?" "A minister," I said. "No, I want to be a scientist." And she never mentioned it again. But something inside began to happen. At the time, I was about 14 years of age. Soon after that, I was asked to be a leader at our summer church camp. Here, I was in charge of recreation and some of our campfire services. And then some months later, our elder minister asked me if I would be willing to be licensed to the ministry to assist in the services. I saw the I said that I felt like I was too young. I was probably in my 15s. I said, wait until I'm 16, which was a few months ahead. I was 16 on the 4th of January. I was licensed immediately and had my first sermon the next Sunday. I filled the pulpits from then on for ministers in the district who needed to be absent. I was ordained at 21. 25,000 years ago, Abram had a similar experience. For God came to him and said, and he was of a different religion, by the way, come follow me, and I will give you a new nation, as numerous as the sand of the sea. You will be my people, and I will be your God. Our goddess this declares, beloved ones, there was once an ancient temple where I served with a great divine director. It was a temple consecrated to the divine plan and the initiation of souls within that divine plan according to the light of purity. And we conceived that Mother Purity, the flame which I bore, would be the instrument of discipline and teaching, and love and a vast and deep understanding of the path. And the Father light of the great divine director would be the sealing within each initiate of the great blueprint, the master blueprint of a cosmos and of each individual microcosm within that macrocosm. Each individual soul suspended in a universe that is God. That temple, that not very far from here, was the place where we sustained the light. It was about 250,000 years ago. I come then to awaken within quite a number of your band that you were there with us. And as we made the choice to enter in and to accelerate life, accelerate light, you made the choice to go out into the world to seek your fortune, as they say, by other means and byways. And thus, at the conclusion of the dispensation of that great temple, which was even a physical temple in Lemuria, we took our ascension. And you, my beloved, have taken another 250,000 years to come to the place where life and all of the great configurations of heaven, the great ascended masters with their stellar bodies, their causal bodies, once again in position to offer to you the path of initiation. Now, within your inner being, you have been taken by us in inner octaves of light to behold the consequences of free choice. God does not condemn free choice. He's the author of free choice and the sponsor of souls, some who would tarry a little longer in time and space to discover the meaning of their own devices and their own solutions to various problems of being and of life. And thus, as a matter of cosmic history, and to show you what has been part of the evolution of the earth, of which you have been a part for so long, I have brought this record to your attention It is not with the idea of frightening you, but only to give you a sense of co-measurement, that you may understand that the soul's various embodiments are to the soul as the twinkling of an eye. These incarnations, while they are experienced, take on the frame of time and space. They are compartmentalized into hours and days and the seasons of the year, and they appear long and hard. But once they're over, it is as though the spring of life, the coiled spring, contracts into almost a flat sphere. And that circle, that is the collapsing of the experience, becomes like a phonograph record, the entire recording of a life on a single disc. A compressed coil of energy now is filed and now becomes a part of your history. You have many, many such discs, and these are kept on file so that you can review your own history and make the marks that you have made and measure the marks that you have made as footprints in the earth and as marks upon souls whom you have inspired to the path of the ascension. Thus, our coming and our focusing on the light of purity is, in this particular dispensation, the first time that since that occurrence. As you meditate upon the meaning of 250,000 years, remember the saying, one day with the Lord is as 1,000 years as one day. Do not try then to comprehend the meaning of the cycles of life, but only decide whether you will this time remain with me in the inner court of the temple and receive your initiations in purity, as we are given the dispensation to convey them with the cosmic Christ, the Guru Maitreya, and all the ascended masters. Make your decision. And know also that it is given to you again to leave and go out into the outer world. You can if you choose, you know. Having the perspective that the choices you make today, you have made before and you will make again. Then draw your own conclusions. You decide whether to postpone the reunion of the bliss of the alchemical marriage, or whether to enter in, not because it is preferable to the experience of your soul, but because of your own wholeness. You then can impart wholeness to the evolutions of the earth. This year is the turning of the tide. As it is dedicated by the Mother of Mercy, Kuan Yin, to her light of mercy, so too it is dedicated to Ascension's flame, to the Mother Flame, and to the bringing of the awareness of the light that purity to millions of souls. In order to accomplish this goal, we come. We three, with Maitreya and Ascended Masters, pilgrims, filing in with their mighty flames. Since they have already ascended, they then keep the flame of the ascension for initiates of the ascension on earth. Perhaps they carry a flame for you, my beloved. If they carry your flame, would it not be well for you also to carry your own flame? Now, when you carry your flame, because the law requires your ascension, you may also decide that you may also dedicate that flame to your counterpart behind the Iron Curtain, to souls of light who will also ascend, perhaps by another path. But all paths are the same path, impurities, light. You caught that, didn't you? All paths are the same path of purities, light. Let that sink in. I come then, and our coming is made possible by many inner activities of the law. The ascension which took place during the New Year's class, a great key to the forward movement of Saint Germain's plan, and the judgment that has gone forth from the Lord Jesus Christ out of the mouth of the messengers and his disciples. This too has enabled the angels of light to come forth and bind many of the tares into bundles and to remove them from the scene of earth. And thus, the clearing of the way for the coming of Mother Light works together daily with all of the projects and all the disciplines and the great creative light that you bear, both within the community and in the far-flung centers of light in the cities of America and the world. Whether there is a keeper, wherever there is a keeper of the flame, wherever there is a soul of light to whom purity and the ascension is highest gain, there is the acceleration. Do you know, beloved, we who beheld the ascension of your beloved Lanello in a great ring of fire, observed the dropping of drops of light as his own cosmic consciousness, as that ascension flame. These golden white drops of light fell across the earth as a gentle falling rain, and they fell in chalices, in hearts designated as those who were the succeeding ring of light bearers who would follow him through the open door of the central temple of Lemuria. And each drop that fell and burst as a joyous song within the heart gave to those souls of light inspiration, dedication, a newness of desire to contact God, a new hope, a new faith, a new exhilaration of charity. Why, beloved, the ascension of a single soul is veritably a spiral that propels the earth with a greater and greater sacred fire and a living record that as one sun has overcome, so many suns can overcome. Would you care to know how many drops went forth as he ascended? They are beyond the millions, beloved. Beyond millions of souls received a portion of his flame. This then will be your joy to proclaim and to transfer in the hour of your own soul's ascension. If therefore you will grasp the reality of making this life your life of victory and of triumph, then consider the years that God has given to you for this life. from this hour through the future. And consider how you can give the most to allow those who follow you to make the contact with your very own living flame. They may not know you by name, but when they contact the record of your good works, of your faith, your meditation, the innermost purity of your heart, they will step upon a crystal of light that will send them higher on the path. And they will thus be fortified. They will thus enter into a vortex of fire that will accelerate their own light. Whether your service then is known or unknown, and your fame sung or unsung, is the quality of energy and consciousness. Let me begin. Whether your service then is known or unknown, and your fame sung or unsung, it is the quality of energy and consciousness which you invest in the body of God that is the liberation of souls who come up, 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 up the spiral of your own accelerating mantle. I am the goddess of purity. I stand with great joy, knowing that the hour has come once again of opportunity to those of you to whom I waved a tearful goodbye when you left our temple. An opportunity now to come to many more because you will keep that flame. My beloved, you are so very close to that entire history, for you yourselves have been a part of it. And this is why you are drawn here in this hour. You are drawn here because here is the resolution, the transmutation of darkness by light. Here is the scenes you have known before. I am the open door of purity. Come, enter in. Come into my heart as I come in to your own. And in the divine embrace, let us together go home, home to Alpha and Omega in the Om that is not far, far away, but here and now to be lived in the hour of this, in this octave, in this very manifestation. Let us build God's kingdom upon earth in purity. Let us dedicate ourselves to that kingdom. Let us know that the going home of the soul is the going to the higher vibration of purity, whereby here within the physical temple and within the physical body, the perfection of the law may be perceived and out pictured. I am the open door. I am the open door of purity to be shut no more. I am the opening of the temple doors. I am the opening of the heart of each individual soul. I am the opening of the way. I am the way of purity, and I am that way within you. Now let us see who will elect to be that way with me, to come that way, to fulfill that way. Some have considered and wavered. but I am a Chela of the God of purity. To be a Chela is to be one who is willing to sacrifice ego for essence, shadow for light, preference for divine purpose. Will you say yes? Finally, the final word is one of warning and of hope. He who would discover his divine self and has no other goal of life ought to consider who is Guru. This is not the hour to play spiritual games or assume titles not earned. Let us not masquerade as Maitreya or Christ. Instead, let us surrender the true guru to the true Guru, the God of purity. Let us surrender to the true God, and I'm sorry. Let us surrender to the true Guru, the God of purity. It is in this surrender that your real identity shines. The great God of purity will always enhance reality. For when you align with the reality of your divine self, the shadows fade, the old self dies, and the new soul is born. The goddess of purity, the karmic board, the angels of white fire, they are here, waiting, not for perfection, but for willingness. Are you ready to say, I will to be pure? I will be free. I will to remember who I am and to fulfill my destiny. If so, I invite you to pause for a moment right now, where you are, and in your heart, surrender to the fire of purity. Let the angels wash over you now. Feel them refresh your aura. Let the great Guru write your name again in the book of life as one who answered the call. Please repeat after me the closing prayer. O God of purity,
God of purity,
let thy white fire snow
let thy white fire
descend upon my soul.
descend upon me.
Clear my vision,
Clear my vision,
cleanse my heart,
cleanse my heart,
align my will with thine.
bind thy will.
Make me worthy
Make me worthy
of the path of ascension.
of
Let the angels of purity
that age.
walk with me each day, and may I,
And may I,
by thy grace,
by the
become a chalice of divine light
become the chalice of the
and a servant of love
and the servant of
forevermore. Amen.
forevermore.